Attention on Capitol Hill today, focusing, of course, on that explosive Senate intelligence hearing on global threats and the revelation that top administration officials texted plans for military strikes in Yemen to a journalist. But before that hearing, members of the Senate Armed Services Committee and officials from the Pentagon met in private. We're told that briefing focused on how the military is responding to drones. Remember these? Last year's dramatic increase in drone activity all across the Northeast. NewsNation's Rich McHugh was covering it then. He's covering it now, joins us live. So, Rich, what are we learning about today's meeting?
Hi, Nichole. So the Senate Armed Services Committee met with members of the military. The meeting lasted about an hour in a very sensitive area of the Capitol building. We spoke with senators on the way out. They were very tight-lipped about what they discussed. Senator Tommy Tuberville, we asked him what was discussed. He said drones. We asked, did you learn anything from the Department of Defense about those drones over the Northeast and New Jersey? Here's what he had to say. He downplayed essentially that these were anything but personal or local drones. Take a listen.
We're going to run into that when you sell them over the counter. You're going to continue to have problems with that. You hate to put regulations on all that, but eventually that's going to happen when you have more and more access to the bigger drones, the drones that go farther, cameras, have different things on them. You know, they can be very dangerous used as a weapon, but again, it's all about catching up with technology, and again, anything that's unmanned can be used in a lot of different ways, as we're seeing overseas.
But here's the thing. The chair of the Armed Services Committee did not downplay this. Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi made the bombshell claim to CBS News last week that the Pentagon and the National Security Advisors are still mystified about the drone activity last year. And after key revelations from the NORAD NORTHCOM Chief General Gregory Guillot at the previous Armed Services Committee and threat about these drones, here's what he had to say.
Senator, the primary threat I see for them in the way they've been operating is detection and perhaps surveillance of sensitive capabilities on our installations. There were 350 detections reported last year on military installations, and that was 350 over a total of 100 different installations of all types and levels of security.
Yeah. Now, what these officials are saying essentially runs contrary to what the White House apparently told us back in January. They said that these drones were authorized by the FAA. The FAA, when I asked, directed us back to the White House for comment, Nichole.
All right, so Rich, you were in New Jersey speaking with law enforcement officials there throughout all of this. What are they saying?
I checked in with them again this morning. Two of the sheriffs that I've been in regular contact with said they've stopped seeing these drones. They still see the planes, but they've stopped seeing the drones, and they're kind of upset about the lack of information that they've been given. I spoke with Sheriff Sean Golden. He's the sheriff of Monmouth County, kind of the epicenter of this whole ordeal last December. Here's what he had to say.
I think in this day and age, particularly in a post 9/11 era, particularly in an area of threats and risk assessments, when we have an agency withholding information like that and not telling their own federal partners that were involved in this and not telling state and county and local officials what was happening, it really is disturbing to me, and something needs to be done. And I'm going to continue to push Congress for reform, and obviously there needs to be some accountability on this.
So if, as the chair of the Armed Services Committee says, that they are still mystified by these drone sightings, then we have a lot more to uncover in the coming weeks and months, Nichole.
Absolutely. All right, Rich McHugh live for us there in New York. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.